I could have sent that to you from from downstairs. Feds is the goalie.
Any other lineup changes?
No.
I guess with regards to the goalies, and obviously all this is dependent upon how long Sam is out, but how do you balance, getting both Fedotov and Kolosov time, especially when both of them are playing well?
Yeah, well, in my mind, and we don't get too far ahead, it depends how they're playing, first of all. But if they're both playing well, they'll probably both see action. So it all depends how each game goes. But I like to, if they're both playing well right now, if they're both playing well, they'll both see action.
With Fedotov, do you have, because obviously, and you've been open about this, first few games he didn't play that well. Mm-hmm. Last few games he's played well. Are you as a coach developing some confidence in him, or are you still looking at it as small sample, not sure?
Still watching, yeah, still watching. It's still, I mean, a handful of starts. Yeah, it's just way too early to decide what's what.
You really gave Grans a lot of minutes later in that game. Was that somewhat a byproduct of not having Zamola and being down, and you were just kind of like, hey, get out there and show us what you can do, or do you think you can continue to rely on him?
No, he played well. Yeah, and Shawzy makes the call. We talk in between periods. We talked in between periods about putting him up with Sanny. And I thought Z was playing pretty well too until he got banged up. But no, it was. I leave it to Shawzy during the game. We discussed things in between periods. We wanted to put him with Sanny and watch the game. We just did some video. He's all over the tape as far as good stuff. So hope it continues.
With the defense, what kind of challenges are there when you have such an influx of different people coming in and out of the lineup?
There's no challenges. It is what it is. You just play. And Brad makes the call as far as how certain guys are playing in certain situations. And the only time that him and I confer are in between periods or at the end of the game. Are we going to go with 4? It depends on what's going on in that game. Other than that, I have full trust in him as far as what he's going to do as far as pairs, switching, ice time, all of it.
The other day you said about Grans that you just want him to play because he's not really hearing anything since his first game. What's now the next step for him in terms of that? Like, are you more, here's the structure, are you giving him more direction on how?
The only thing we've talked about is just being ready, because the 2 teams he's playing against are 2 of the fastest teams in the league. Tonight, our challenge is we're playing against probably just as fast as Colorado, but they check. They press. Colorado's a little bit of a different animal that way. Colorado's they're not like Carolina in that aspect. It's a different situation for him, and they're going to press you. They're going to jump you really quickly and hard. So that's all we talked about him against Colorado and let him play. And tonight, I know we'll have a discussion just as far as how this team presses and pinches, and they're man-on-man. Once they lose the puck, they're going from man to man.
With the power play a little inconsistent, is there a thought to maybe try Travis Sanheim on that top unit because of the way he moves the puck so well?
We did the other night.
But I guess the flip side of that is, do you have to be careful 31 minutes the
Absolutely.
other night? How do you sort of walk that balance?
Yeah, it depends what the minutes are. Sandy gets caught out there for a 3-minute shift pretty early. Like we just showed the whole momentum of that first period of us turning pucks over, and all we did was just get it out in the neutral zone and dive onto the bench, and another line comes on and they get spanked. It kind of defines turnovers for us, but Sandy was involved in a couple of those. So we make the call as we're going through, were they hard minutes? He's a guy that Shawzy does with Sandy what I do with TK. I'm always looking for TK. I put him in all situations all the time. They both have good engines. Defense is a little bit different, right? There's more thinking in it. There's more of a wear and tear into it. So we just try to call it as we see it during that game. But the way he is playing offensively, we have to think about that, and we are. And with the injuries we have, it's a no-brainer. But what do we do when we get healthy? Because I just think we're gonna have to see. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
Is that one of those things where if it works now, great, but if it works, how do we if we're gonna feed one, do we have to take away from something else?
Yeah, but I'm not so sure we're taking away from someone else because I don't think it's been that good.
From him, where you're gonna like maybe take minutes away from him on another area.
No, it's not about taking minutes away from him. It's whether he can handle more minutes. So we'll play him 40.
The NHL posted yesterday, they do those like the skate tracking thing, and that I think over the last 3 seasons, only one player has ever had as much skating distance as Sanheim did last game.
Yeah.
Is that something like you guys obviously track things internally? Do you guys pay attention to things like that when it comes to like workload and actual ice workload?
I don't look at the numbers. Shawzy and Rock, they're into it, and they do look at that, and we get a booklet of numbers after each game. I just can't figure it out. So they do. The thing with Sanny is, to me, it's a compliment to his mindset, because I watch him, and every chance he has, if he moves a puck, he's jumping in the rush. Every chance he has, and in the offensive zone, he's much more active off the blue line. I think he started feeling good. At least I haven't talked to him about it. When we put him on the right side, he saw the ice better, and I think he felt more comfortable coming in off the blue line from the right side. And I thought, he said, this is fun. He's just roaming around in there as a rover. I think that adds to his ice time, and I believe that what he's trying to do is make such a difference for us. He's always up the ice. He's always in the offense, jumping in off the blue line. I think that adds to those numbers. So it's a compliment to him as far as the difference he wants to try to make. And that is the number one thing for me, is that's what's changed from the first year. He just was out there the first year for me. Looked good because he could skate, accomplished nothing for me. And now where he's gone to, as far as started with his conditioning, he put on some weight, some good weight, he felt stronger, and then he started with an attitude. And I think he's taken off. It is, everybody looks at numbers and this and that, and it's been fun for me to watch how he has grown mentally. Like, I am going to be the guy. And it's so cool to watch that for me, because I think it's one of the most interesting facets of developing people, is that. And I like to just know what turned on up there, and you can't find out, right? It's pretty cool to watch.
You made the comment the other day about how you wanted Hockey Canada to kind of take notice for the tournament, but at the same time, that's an extra 2 weeks of games.
Oh, I don't give a shit about that.
It's a big honor, but does
I don't want to get too far over, because it's not my call, and I don't want to cross the line here. That's your country, and that's one of the greatest things about, we got really good athletes, and they care. That's a really important thing for athletes. So that doesn't even come to my thinking. I hope he gets an opportunity, and quite honestly, they got to be looking at the winger too, TK. And the more people that have an opportunity to play for your country, it does nothing but do great things for you.
John, you mentioned Carolina playing fast, but checking and putting pressure on. Do you see them a little bit as like a blueprint for you guys, how you would eventually like to get to?
We're playing basically the same style, checking forward and all that. It may be, I'm not sure how Roddy teaches it, but we want to press. We want to press, and we want to check for. We want to take chances. And I think it looks similar. I don't think we're as fast. I think they're a bit deeper team than we are. But that is going to be the blueprint. As long as I have the opportunity to coach this team, that is going to be the blueprint. And I think it's important to have that blueprint for management as we start drafting players towards that too. The style of play is a very important thing. And it gives managements and scouts the opportunity to kind of zero in on what type of players we're looking for.